Now, changing gears to the Indian legal and business space, my one question to you is, in an economy as large and complex as India's, there have been some of the most, striking legal developments in the space today. What would be, to your mind, some of those notable developments that the world should take note of coming from India?
See, we have, the various indices. We talk about ease of doing business, contracts being adhered to, not adhered to, all those challenges. And I would say these are late in the time, but birth pangs. Because really, we are just barely in our 30s. India really opened up in 91. But having said that, I think there are a few simple solutions I'll give, and I'll give you reasons. See, there's a fatal flaw in our whole system in the country. What do we need? Let's go to first principles. We need infrastructure. Full stop. What are we doing about it? We are getting companies, we're having, we just announced it yesterday, we're having defense corridors, we're having all these fancy things being done. Where is the long-term money? Where is it? Where are the funding institutions that are giving you 30-year money? To build a road, you need 30 years. Or not to build the road, but financing, repayment, etc., etc. There's nothing. There used to be IFCI, there used to be IDBI, there used to be ICICI. All gone. They've become commercial banks or finished. So the first thing we have to do is enable the infrastructure building. Once you build the infrastructure, you have your ports, you have your railways, you have your roads, the whole story will start to change very quickly. Now, that's one. And how you can do it, I have a solution also. I'll give you that. We have $1 trillion of Indian money illegally lying outside India, as per Government of India's numbers. Now, this $1 trillion is lying outside. We bring it back, we are put in jail. Why? Why can't we have a scheme like Philippines, like Indonesia recently did, and other countries? Look at it another way. Look at the other countries. It's not a rocket science. In America, how was infrastructure built? It was built through Eagle bonds, long-term bonds. Do we have them in India? We don't. So how can we get them? This $1 trillion, government announces tomorrow morning that you bring in as much money as you want, you'll be immune from all laws. 15% will be deducted at the bank, at the authorized dealers. So that means $150 billion, thinking if all trillion come in, $150 billion we get in one day. Now, this $150 billion is equity. You leverage that 6-7 times. See the number you come to. Then 35% we give the person who brings the money in. So that person may invest or buy diamonds or whatever, who cares? There'll still be employment, etc. 50% we create what I call, not because I look like one, elephant bonds, 30-year bonds with the interest rate 200 basis over LIBOR. So all this dehshat we have allowed, jail jaoge, so di sakte, kids going to Dubai or Singapore or London, cousins, all that will stop. Now, I'll be happy to get your viewers or anybody to give me, what is the negative of this? Why don't we do it? So that solves one set. Then we come to judiciary. What happens today? There, let's say in a high court, there are 20 different courts with different judges. We have a little small, simple solution. We have a little digital clock outside, which gives the case number that is being heard. So lawyers outside can see it. Why can't we have 2 more? How many cases were heard yesterday and how many are pending in this court? And can you imagine the value of this? Firstly, there will be competition amongst that court, all those judges, that who's more efficient, who's less, etc. There'll be transparency. Then let it go on the citadel, let's say Delhi High Court, and say this High Court has so many thousands cases done yesterday, so many thousand are pending. Then you compare it to the rest of the courts in India. So that's simple. That'll bring in competition, bring efficiency. Second thing, everything goes for appeal. Why? Because of the 3 C's. If I am a bureaucrat and I don't want to, if I lose a case, I will appeal it. Because if I don't, the CVC, the CBI or the CAG, somebody will catch me. So I say, why let me appeal. What happens is it clogs up the system. Last stats that I got, I have not confirmed them, 67 to 68% of all pending matters in all courts in India, government is on one side or the other. Why can't we do a simple executive order tomorrow morning and say a matter under 50 lakhs, if we have lost it, no further appeal. And this will not be a precedent. So, people can't use it as law. Just withdraw the cases. If you did that, do you know that today, without doing that, we have more than 17 courts in India which are current, which means judgment in 1 year. The filing is much less than the disposal. So that can change the whole landscape. We can keep saying we need more courts, we need more judges. Okay, bhai, that's the long term. जो हम कल कर सकते हैं. Third thing, everything today is digitized. And adjournments are for the asking. Why? Why can't we have a system that every judge at the end of the day puts in his, say, today I had 50 matters, I heard 17, the rest were adjourned. Why? One line and send it to the Chief Justice of India, copy. So all this, we do these and these are simple executive orders. Nothing to do with legislation or change of law or anything. And it'll just, in my view, somebody can examine this and things can happen. Thirdly, we are the only country in the world that can talk to Tokyo and New York during our office hours. Why are we not an international arbitration hub? Look at the land we have at Delhi Airport, 200 acres. Why can't we build lovely 3 buildings? One for the lawyers, one for the arbitration center, and one, of course, for me, for the idea. So we can have these 3 buildings and you land Delhi Airport, beautifully connected. Where in the world do you have 5 minutes walking from the airport, international arbitration? So, few of these things, if we do, it can really change the landscape. And we have enormous number of lawyers. Whether it's good or bad, we can come to that another day. But the raw material is there. A little bit of training, a little bit of this, a little bit of continued legal education. We are done. And not much to be done in the short term, is my view.
Thank you, Mr. Luthra. And, such big ideas out there along with solutions. Where is the problem then? Where are we lagging? In the sense, what's keeping us from really initiating these solutions?
Ashima, you tell me. I've just given you 4 simple ideas. You tell me one and have your viewers also, or even your economists, etc., that you have on board. Tell me what is wrong with any one of them. Can they be misused? Yes, if you have not. See, money was sent out. Why? We had a tax rate of 98%. Then we had a compulsory deposit of 18%. Money had to go out. Chalo, jis government ne kiya, jo bhi kiya, leave that aside. Ab wapas le aao bhai. Now they'll say, okay, I'll give you the negatives. They'll say, अरे ये तो अमीरों ने चोरी की, आपने इनको माफ कर दिया. अरे भाई, just change the story and say, भाई देखो, मैंने 15 लाख रुपए लेके आने थे, हर बैंक में आए नहीं ना, मैं नहीं ला पाया. क्यों? Because the way the international system works, it's a fact. It's very difficult to get information. तो अब मैं इनके पैसों से आपका बिजली घर बना रहा हूँ, आपकी सड़क बना रहा हूँ. Then they will say, देखो ये टैक्स नहीं पे किया. अरे think of the IRR. Think what is the tax rate? Today also in some cases 20%. 15% तो आपने पहले दिन ले लिया. और फिर 30 साल के लिए पैसे ले लिया आपने. So if you do the net present value of that 30 years, you'll see it's much more than any tax you'll ever collect in your life. Now, this is simple maths. All we have to do is apply our mind a little bit and must have the will to do the job. And you tell me, I'm open to a discussion at any fora that इसमें गलत क्या हो सकता है. And of course, I was joking with one of the politicians the other day. I said, our lovely Prime Minister said, "Achhe din aayenge." Luckily, he never said kab. So now we can get it done.
Absolutely, Mr. Luthra. And I think it's a great idea. We should take these questions to our audiences and have them reach out to us with their answers, like a consultation paper thrown out to them. So thank you.
Let them give the negatives. Say, these are the problems. I'd love to hear it, and then we can tweak it.
Absolutely. Who are the people you look up to in your life, and what would be your one advice to people? Leading by example, I'm sure everyone has taken enough from what you have done. But what would be your advice to the virtual lawyers of today who haven't had the chance to step in the court? So over to you, sir.
Like I told you earlier, I've never had a senior. So when I started as a lawyer, I realized that I need to learn ethics. I need to learn integrity. So I looked around and there was this young Fali Nariman who I didn't know at all. I'd never met. And like Eklavya, I followed him for 6 to 7 years.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from that man and his lovely, lovely wife, God bless her soul, Babsi. And then slowly I got to know them. And as I got to know them, I'm happy to tell you that's one of my Bharat Ratnas, that I'm their lawyer.
How wonderful.
And that's been an amazing experience. Others I look up to are his son. Again, brilliant judge, outstanding.
Absolutely.
Dhananjay Chandrachud. Justice Chandrachud's father used to play golf with me when I was 16 years old. He was the Chief Justice of India. And they used to finish from the Supreme Court and come to the Delhi Golf Club, and we used to play golf together. I didn't know I'm going to become a lawyer, and I used to beat him every time.
Were you in the 4-ball together?
Always. They would come in the evening. I was away. I was first year college. So there was one quick incident. So there was a judge at the Allahabad High Court, and we used to have a team, Delhi Golf Club and Allahabad Golf Club. And once a year we used to play golf. So I used to be always pitted with the head of the Allahabad Golf Course, which was Justice K. Singh. Went on to become the Chief Justice of India. So and I didn't know I'm going to be a lawyer. I used to really give him run for his money. So, and he would be very embarrassed. That was his home crowd and, senior judge, and I'm little baby. First appearance in the Supreme Court, first few days appearances, K. Singh, court number 1. Now, court number 2, he was not chief then. Loudly he says, "Ab aaya hoon pahad ke niche." In open court, mega lot. So one has learned a lot from various good quality people. I've learned a lot from my wife. How, she keeps her cool. And I've learned a lot from both my daughters. And of course, my father, my mother, and folks like that. I've picked up lots and lots of interesting things. And that's my way of functioning. I try and get pearls wherever I can find them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Luthra. And your final note to our lawyers, like I mentioned, the new crop of lawyers who are now only virtual for the time being. What would be your one piece of advice to them for the future?
Lawyering, nobody should laugh, is a noble profession. The problem with the current crop, I don't mean now, I mean last 15, 20 years. When I decided to do my law, I wanted to, and this I'm quoting a very senior lawyer, part of it and part of it is my own. When I decided to do my law, I went to learn to be a pleader. Today, they have removed the P. They only want to be leaders. I went for learning. They've removed the L. They only want earning. And I gave a lecture at Bangalore Law School and said this very thing. And I said, what is embarrassing is that, and my style is I really mix with the kids and I spend sometimes a whole day with them. I said, whenever I interview you, the first question you ask me, what is my bonus? I said, you should ask me, what am I going to teach you? What do you know? You mug from a book. You know nothing of law. I'm going to teach you. Ask me, what am I going to teach you? Forget about money. It's a byproduct. Learn ethics, learn integrity, and get quality. And money will flow like you can't believe it. That's my advice to the youngsters. Focus on what you're here for. And lawyering is a noble profession.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luthra. I guess, along with crossing your T's and dotting your I's, what's important is adding your P to pleaders and L to earning. So, learning is the way forward. Thank you so much for those beautiful thoughts, Mr. Luthra. It's been an amazing time discussing things with you. And we look forward to many more such instances. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. And thank you very much. And my regards to Dr. Batra. After he finishes samosas, we can chat. Cheers. God bless. And hi to all the viewers. Thank you.